ladies and gents, let's put your hands together for Mr. Canice Kennedy.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you very much. How do you follow that? My background is that I worked in business for 20 years, and I got to 40 and I decided I don't want to do this anymore. I want to do something different, and I always was involved in soccer coaching, so I said I'd love to work in sports. So I took a career break, went back to college and studied sports psychology, and so now I'm a full-time sports psychologist. But I'm not going to talk to you about performance tonight. There's enough people here to talk about performance, so I'm going to talk about the preparation for performance. And one area I've done a lot of work in over the past few years has been in the area of sleep. I work with an organisation called AFRESH, and we're a well-being company based in Dublin, and I manage in Cork. And we do a lot of work around areas like diet, exercise, wellness, dealing with stress in the workplace. But sleep is the one area we've done a lot of work over the past 2 years. So I'm going to talk about sleep. Let me first say that I have no doubt that everybody here knows how many hours us adults should be getting. 8 hours. Everybody knows that. The true answer is 7 to 9. Some populations need 9. For instance, teenagers. So those of you who have teenagers at home who stay in bed till 12 o'clock, they need their sleep, so don't be too hard on them. Other populations, like normal adults, probably 7 to 8 is sufficient. Unfortunately, at the moment in the UK, the average number of hours per adult is down to 6.5. Now, that's because of the society that we live in, the always-on culture. We have mobile phones, we have laptops, we have iPads, we have all the stuff that keeps us awake. And unfortunately, in the Celtic Tiger era, since the Celtic Tiger era, we're working longer hours and we don't switch off. We don't relax, we don't recover. Now, in the past few years, a lot of talk has been about the troika. But for me, the troika is the troika of good health. And the troika of good health is diet, exercise, and sleep. Now, we all know about diet, and we all know about exercise. But sleep, we don't know enough. Now, on the courses that we run, 3 questions come up. Number 1, I can't go to sleep at night. Can you help me? Number 2, I wake up in the middle of the night, and I can't get back to sleep. Can you help me? And number 3, my head is so full of stuff all of the time, I can't relax, I can't go to sleep. Can you help me? So I'm going to hopefully talk about those 3 issues tonight in the 15 minutes, and hope everyone here goes away with at least one nugget of information to try and improve their sleeping. Now, I don't want to talk too much about the technical element of sleeping, but in the 8 hours that we have, the first 4 hours are for physical recovery, and the last 4 hours are for mental recovery. So if you're only getting your 4 or 5 hours per night, you will get through the next day. And you can keep that going on a fairly regular basis. But if you're not getting close to the 8 hours, you're not mentally recovering. And by that I mean your performance will not be at its best. And my view is that we're all athletes here today. We're all corporate athletes. We want to be at our best. And you will not be at your best if you're not getting enough sleep. When I talk about the mental recovery, I'm talking about concentration, I'm talking about memory, I'm talking about decision making. To make good decisions in business, you need to be at the top of your game. Bill Clinton famously said, all the major mistakes I've made in my life were made when I was tired. No, I'm not saying what you... I wonder what hours Monica Lewinsky was working, but that's a whole different story. Okay, so let's talk about improving sleep. The one thing the body loves is routine. So if you want to have better sleep, go to bed at the same time every single night. Try and have a routine every single night. There's a friend of mine sets the alarm clock for 10 o'clock every night. His own alarm clock at 10 o'clock. And once the alarm goes off, he starts preparing for bed. He has a routine. And during that hour, he does some deep breathing. He does some light exercises. He does some planning for the next day. And he prepares the body for sleep. Unfortunately, in Ireland, a typical pre-sleep routine is switch off the telly, brush the teeth, and hit the pillow. And maybe switch off your email along the way as well. And it goes from anything from 30 seconds to 2 minutes. Now, that's not the proper preparation. Like most things in life, we need to prepare properly. And slowing down your heart rate, switching off the big lights in the house, switching off your laptops and your mobile phone, which are an absolute disaster for sleep, and preparing the body. So that when you actually get to go to sleep and you put your head on the pillow, you're already on the way to relaxing. And that is the key. And it's about good habits. Now, I have a couple of things here. Some help. This is Valerian. It's a natural form of Valium from a plant. A Valerian an hour before bed will help you relax. That's one way of slowing down. An eye mask. Simple science is that in order to sleep, we need to get the melatonin in our brain to be working. It's a sleep hormone. But melatonin does not work in the bright. So the best thing you can do is actually wear an eye mask. If you don't want to wear an eye mask, wear your dark glasses around the house for a half an hour before you go to bed. And that allows the melatonin to kick in and starts the process of slowing down. Unfortunately, these things are a disaster. Whether it be laptops or iPods or iPads, they're a disaster because the blue light in these interferes with the generation of melatonin and it won't help you sleep. Another couple of ideas. Chamomile tea contains melatonin. So it's a great pre-sleeping drink. Much better than a pint of beer or a glass of wine, which we might like to have before going to bed, but unfortunately doesn't help us sleep, despite what we think. Another couple of ideas. If you go to YouTube and check out Glenn Harold, you'll get some nice relaxing tapes that he plays. And there's also a colouring book called the Can't Sleep Colouring Book that you can buy, which helps the mind relax in that pre-sleeping period. If you're really unlucky and you have cold feet, well, then wear some slight slippers. Second thing I want to talk about tonight is the bedroom. Now, for me, it's very simple. The bedroom has two activities only: sleep and sex, nothing else. There should be no working in the bedroom, no studying in the bedroom, no watching tea in the bedroom or TV in the bedroom, and no reading in the bedroom. Now, on the questions afterwards, I'll take the questions on sleep, but direct all the questions on sex to the other people on the panel, please. Bedroom is for sleeping and relaxation. It needs to be dark and it needs to be cool. 16 degrees or 60 degrees Celsius, that's all. It's better cold than hot. Needs to be dark, again, for melatonin. Bedroom is not for working, so keep the laptops out, keep the phone out, keep all the stuff out of it. Just use the bedroom to relax. Sorry, one thing I forgot to mention. There are some foods that are very good for generation of melatonin, including tart cherries, walnuts, corn, rice, ginger, barley, almonds, banana, strawberry, oats, black olives. So pre-sleep snack any of these items will certainly help with the generation of melatonin. Finally, the brain. Obviously, the brain has a huge role in terms of going to sleep. And when we're busy people, lots of stuff is going on around the brain. So really what you have to do is to try and switch off the brain an hour before you go to sleep. One great idea is to open your diary and write down the 3 great things that happened to you today. Good meetings, good people that you met, good things that happened to you. Write them down and remember them. The reason is this: if we don't remember the good things that happened to us, our negative brain switches on and we start thinking about the bad things that happened to us. And then we go to bed with our brain active, which interferes with the chances of going to sleep. Second thing is to write down the key activities for the next day. The rationale being, if you get them down on paper, you're not going to forget about them, and you have a better chance of relaxing and going to sleep. The brain, unfortunately, can interfere with us, and we have to be careful what we say. And typically, for some people, we get to bed and they go, oh my God, I'm never going to get to sleep tonight. Well, if you think you're not going to get to sleep tonight, well, you know what? It's not going to be easy to get to sleep tonight. So try and relax. Be positive. I'm getting better. My sleeping's getting better. I've prepared well. I'm going to get better over my sleep over time. So have a positive attitude going to bed. But then what happens when you wake up in the middle of the night and your head is spinning with all the things you have to do the next day or the things that you forgot to do? Well, even though I regard myself as a good sleeper, I always have a pen and paper beside me in the bed. And if I wake up in the middle of the night, I simply write down all the things that are going on in my head. The impact of that is that I know I'm not going to forget. I know I can relax and I have a better chance of going back to sleep. But if you do wake up, the one thing you should never do is to check your clock. Never look at the time. And we all do it instinctively. Have a look what time it is. Oh no, only 3 more hours sleep. Don't look at the clock. Just lie in the bed and relax and do some deep breathing and stay calm. When you look at the clock, it activates the brain, which in turn activates the heart. So avoid the clock. Now, if after 10 or 15 minutes you can't sleep, get up, go downstairs, take a break for 10 or 15 minutes. Don't put on the big lights, maybe do some light reading or something like that. And then finally, the last thing I want to talk about is taking a nap. Now, taking a nap is a big, big discussion point among the experts on sleep. Many of them say never, ever take a nap. But in fact, in the animal world, most animals do actually take a nap on a regular basis. Humans are one of the few that don't. And while some experts agree that it's a good idea, most don't like it. I, unfortunately, think it's a fantastic idea. But be clear, there are some populations that the experts are agreed on that naps are a good idea, particularly people who work shift, people who are elite athletes, or people who do a lot of traveling, particularly transatlantic traveling. Jet lag is a big impact on sleep. So naps can benefit certain people. I use naps all the time. One thing I'd say about naps, though, never ever nap for longer than 30 minutes. 30 minutes, absolute maximum. If you go longer than 30 minutes, you're in danger of going into a deep sleep. And if you hit a deep sleep, you'll wake up groggy and disorientated. So never longer than 30 minutes. Ideally between 2 and 5 in the afternoon. So falling asleep during Coronation Street does not count as a nap. It's far too late in the day. Okay. Third thing, whether it's lying up or sitting down, it doesn't really matter. Whether it's in your bed or on the couch is not a factor. You can do it in the car. Only place I don't recommend is never ever take a nap in the chair where you like to watch TV. Don't build up any association between that location and your nap. And one thing I'd say about napping, a very, very good time is Saturday afternoon and Sunday afternoon. One thing I really dislike is people who sleep 3, 4, 5 hours during the week and make it up for the weekend by sleeping 12 hours. Most of the time when you sleep to 12 hours, the last 2 is an absolute waste of time. You're better off getting up and early on Saturday morning. Okay, get an extra hour lying if you've had a tough week. And if you're still tired Saturday afternoon, go to bed for 30 minutes. Finally, I'm going to leave you with a challenge. If you want something to change, you have to change something. So I want everyone here to record mentally or write it down, one thing they're going to take away with them today to try and improve their sleep, because it is very important. Thank you very much.